familiar with 3D printing technology, so for today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and setting up a Tevo Tornado 3D printer. So I have the box that came in, so the first thing we're going to do is unbox it. So here I have the box. It's a pretty heavy box. It's not much on the outside. There's parts and stuff what I have in it. Now I'm going to get my box cutter and open it up. So this box definitely came from China, this printer did. So my main concern is if this is going to be a partial assembled kit or just a fully assembled printer. I'm not really for sure. Opening it up. A styrofoam. Like an instruction manual, assembly manual. And it looks it's a cool color on that. So this to the side. So I'm gonna take out all these pieces of foam and then see what's under it. So I took out these pieces of foam, and as you can tell, you can see part of the frame. It looks like it's partially assembled. I'll probably still have to put connect the base plate to it and connect this piece to it on its side. And here's some cables and stuff to finish it off with. So inside the box, looks like we have one piece of styrofoam left, a pocket of hardware and tools, power supply, and one piece that looks pretty assembled, the frame. So I'm going to remove this pocket of tools. Got a spatula, USB cable, tubing, hardware, power cord, hardware, and tools. So next I'm going to remove the power supply. You can see it says Tevo on front, boats, fan, SD card, and then all the connections on the back. So next would be the frame. So it comes out as one piece. Put that piece back in here. So there is another spot in the bottom down here. It looks like the print bed. Another portion of the frame. So I'm going to set the top part off to the side to reveal the bed portion. So now I'm going to clear some space off and get this portion set up. So here's the print bed setup, or the pre-assembled portion that came out of the box. It has the build plate base, the Y-axis cable with the motor, and the extrusion frame setup. I thought the print bed was attached, but it was not attached to it. It had a cable that goes to it, so I've set that up right through. So I have the instruction manual here. I think it's a pretty good quality. It's pictures and the pictures actually in color this time. So let's see what the next step is since we got the wax right out. Got your warnings. Then assembly. First is to remove parts from the box. and inspect to make sure they are not damaged. Install the gantry frame to the base frame. Looks like you'll need 2 screws and 2 washers on each side. So let's get the gantry frame out. So here is the gantry frame, or Z and X axis. We have the hot end with the frame. So the top piece is looks like 2020 extrusion, and this side piece is 2040. And looks like that's the Z-axis motor. So the Z-axis motor is on the back side of each. Just that one. And that's the extruder motor. This goes all the way to the extruder. And the black cables probably go to the control box for power and other electronic stuff. So now we need to get 2 screws and 2 washers for each side to put them into place. We're probably going to go here with the 2 hoses on each side. So it looks like it's going to be this bag, A2. I got this set, but that is probably going to go for these spring things. So I'm going to try these right here out. So for this I'm going to do it one side at a time. Just set this piece on here. Then put the screw with the lock washer onto it. So now I got one side of it screwed into place. I don't know if you can see it. So it's a pretty good fit. So the next step is to go to the other side and finish it up. So the next step is to install the 2 T-shaped reinforcement plates for the frame. So we got one, it's just a T, and the other one has a end stop piece connected to it. Someone separate the hardware. Someone separate out the hardware for each piece, and then connect it. So here's the one without the end stop. Got the screws on one side, and then the T-nuts on the other side. So the next one to assemble is the one with the end stop. So this one's already assembled for us in the bag. It has 4 screws, the copper Rickham plate with the T-nuts, and the end stop with a, it's like razor cut piece of wood. So the next step is to attach each of these pieces to the side. So I'm going to attach both pieces and show you what it looks like. So to do this step, we're going to put the T-nut in here and then turn it. That's how this goes. Okay, so let's try this again. So like that. So I got 3 more to go. So here's all 4 of them in. Gonna put the plate on and adjust them. They're easy to move. But anyways, I'm gonna attach this plate and then attach the other side. So here's one side done. Got all 4 screws and T-nuts mounted. These plates are made just to reinforce the Z-axis so it doesn't wobble back and forth when it prints. So now I'm going to do the other side of the end stop. The instructions want this piece mounted like this with the end stop piece on the back side of the stepper motor. So now I'm going to mount this piece. So this side is now done too. Got both pieces connected. So the next step, according to the instructions, is to attach the electrical cables in the box. So the next step is going to be connecting all of these cables and stuff to the printer. This is going to be the control box where you can pause, stop, start your print, preheat the bed, etc. So as you can see, you got the logo, got one knob guess to move the menu around. Then you got a fan, and then you got a power button. Cables coming out. Take the power supply. Not really sure what these are for. Maybe the print bed. So we gotta put the control box on the lead screw side. So this side. Connect the heater cables to the control box. Assuming that's part of the print bed. Then the nozzle heater. Do not force them into the connection. Alright, so let's get started. So here's the print bed. It does have a connection that we may plug into it. And this is just a cover for it, I believe. This comes off like that. But I also found in the instruction manual, I was looking ahead, there doesn't seem any mention of how to assemble this piece. I mean, it should be fairly simple, but it can be nice if you give us like a little description of how to assemble it. But yes, I'm gonna get all these cables connected and then show you where they all go to. Okay, so I got the heater cable. This one has 4 pins right here, if you can see it. And it goes to the heat bed. So I'm gonna be connecting this one to this port on the control box. Okay, so I got one of them done. Just rotate it till it fits into it, and then you tighten it with this nut right here so it doesn't come back out. So I got one more to go, and the power supply, and these to plug into. So the next one was the nozzle heater. It plugs in the same way. It goes to the hot end. So next in the instructions is to connect all these cable stepper motors and limit switches. I got the Z motor and the Z end stop connected. There's 2 cables in one, and this is a very tight fit. Could have made these cables a little bit longer, I think, but I'll try to adjust it after I get everything assembled, see if we can get some more room. But next is this cable. So I got all the cables connected. The only one that seemed to have a little bit difficult was the X stepper motor, because it did seem like it's connected all the way, but I can't get anything else about it. And then this one seems really tight, the length. Other than that, they're all in place. And according to the instruction booklet, connect the power cord, then turn it on. And there is nothing about how to set the build plate up with. So I got some zip ties. It's like springs, spacers, and some screws. So I'm going to keep this up on my own. So we can't have this piece sticking out the top because of the hot ends. I'm assuming this piece is the top, the screw. Then you got the spring, and then you got the nut tightener piece. So here's the first one connected on how I think it goes. Get the screw coming through it, then put the spring on, put it through this plate, then put the nut on. So I'm gonna set up like the monoprice did. I'm gonna better get the thread through the end of the nut. Once I get them all on here, I'm gonna tighten up a curved turn a piece until the bed is level. So I'm gonna get the other 3 remaining screws onto here. Then we'll start the bed leveling process. Okay, so now all the springs are in place. As you can tell, the bed's on here. Still needs to be leveled, but it's on here. So do we turn the power on yet? So I'm gonna plug the cable, put the power in the back of the control box, and turn it on to see if it comes on. Okay, so it's plugged in. I'm gonna flip the switch on the back. Clear logo. Info screen. So the clicker is pretty solid. I like it a lot better than the presser and probably the mine press. Okay, so I realized what I got wrong. This is the Z-axis cable I plugged into the Y motor, so I'm going to switch those two out. And I thought this was the hot end piece, but this is the extruder. And the hot end piece is right here, and it does have the nozzle on it, I believe. I have to raise it up to make sure. But I'm going to switch the cables around and then test it out again. Okay, so this does give a lot more room with the cables now. So this does make more sense. Turn it back on. Comes on every time like that. So go to prepare, move axis, Z axis. Do 10 millimeters. And here we go. You can see these pieces are moving. Okay, so turn it back off. It does indeed have a hot end nozzle attached to it. See right here. It's just a motor for the filament to go in through. Put the filament in through here and it pushes it through here to the nozzle. Something similar to the monoprice does. So now the only thing left we got to do is load filament into it. The cable management, if you want to, make sure the axes and electronics work. Take this piece off and over the bed, and then we can do a test print. So what I'm doing right now is going through the instructions to get ready to adjust the bed. I'm going to take this piece off, but the instructions say this is a Titan extruder, just in case you were curious. So now I took this piece off that was covering it. As you can tell, it's really glossy and it's going to be a fingerprint magnet. Not sure if it's going to stay like this, but we'll see. So now I got a piece of printer paper. Once you rubber it, the nozzle from the print base will only be A4 printer paper size. Well, it's showing me that thickness away from each other. So that's what I'm going to do now. Fortunately, the instruction manual does give us a whole page of rubber in the bed. So that's good. So first step is to select prepare. Preheat PLA. So you can find that. Scroll ways down, but okay. This will heat the bed up and not to actually. It's supposed to make it more accurate. Okay, so it says preheat PLA and instructions. Preheat PLA, let's just do that again. Here's the fan going on the control box. So we're going to wait for that to heat up. And then select custom commands and go home. Which will move the nozzle closer to here. And then do front left. Just to make sure the both sides are over. So we're going to wait for it to heat up now. It's pretty fast, but the nozzle is at 91, 94, but it's at 36, 37. Okay, so now that's close to being preheated. Go to custom commands and hit the home. Turn that off. So I need to do some cable management before I do that. So two things, I need to do some more cable management first and grab some more room for this printer, which is a big printer. Okay, so on this cable right here, I had to unscrew it from the control box because I had it wrapped around the back side of this piece, which I need to be wrapped around the front side. And for the bed, this here cable is going over it, which needs to go under it and out the bottom. So that way it can correct the stepper motor. So now we're going to try this again. Go to commands, home. Oh, yeah. So it's going to hit the box. Okay, so I need to get more room for this printer because it cannot go down all the way. Like I said, this is a big printer, so it's a comparison. That's the top of the presser with it sitting on the lid, and that's the top of the monopress. Press keeps going up. So yeah, I need to print some more space out before I do the home axis. Okay, so I made some more room for the stepper motor to go down. So we're going to try this again. Going to prepare. Okay, so it's at the home axis. We'll see if we can get the paper to go through. Don't think we can, so we're gonna have to raise the bed. Yeah, so you can see here how much come up and go down. So I got it tight enough so the paper slides underneath it now. So next step would be moving it to a different position on the print bed. So here's the home position. Take the paper. Done. So now we're going to do the front left. Front right. So I have to work on that one. So front right is done. So now we're going to do rear right. Do not think that is right. We'll have to try this again. Figure what's wrong with it. There's about an inch of clearance right there. So I was realizing that I was having a big offset what's going past the build tray, and this is not going all the way up, I don't think. But I was looking at the assembly manual, see if I assembled it wrong. And this piece, the extruder hot end space, be on this side, and it's on that side. So I have to switch the frame around, just flip this side over here. So I thought this piece was initially the hot end. So I have to take the plates off and just stretch the sides around, and then hopefully that works out. So once I get that switched and do the paper test, make sure it's all calibrated, then we can hopefully start a test print. Okay, so here's what it's supposed to look like set. This is on the right hand side. This piece is on the front side. So all the cables do fit the length, but this one's still kind of iffy about the plug-in. The plug is plugged in, but I think it is. But other than that, everything's set good. Have this under this corner, just in case it triggers the Y-axis. But other than that, it should be working. So I'm going to turn it on. Running through all the calibration tests, the paper, and calibrate the print bed, adjust it where it's needed. And then hopefully do a test print. Okay, so I think it's all calibrated, but it still seems like the Y-axis is still not getting triggered on this end stop back here. So I'm gonna check that out to make sure, and then load the SD card into the control box and see if we have any sample prints. If not, let's go with the traditional benchy print. Okay, so I don't really think there's a problem with the Y-axis. If it continues doing like the actual print, I'll stop it and figure out why. And haven't already printed on a grass bed before, so we'll test this out too. So now I got the SD card in here. It does have some prints. XYZ, Tevo, I'm pretty sure that's the logo. Spool holder, which would be nice if it came with one. But that's it. So I'll probably go up to Tevo test, just because I know what it is. So now I'm gonna preheat it and get it started. But first we gotta load the filament into it. So it did not come with filament. So maybe some I have left over from another order. And it did not come with a spool holder for a 2020 mount. So I'll probably get one of those later. But I just got this hanging up. So we're gonna load the filament in first and then start the test print. First thing is going to be to heat the printer. Let's see. Let's fall down one of these menus. Preheat POA. Do both. So I fed the filament in through the separate motor extruder piece. So you can see I got it started. So next I'm gonna move it further down until it comes out the end. I don't know if you can see this, but it's going very slowly. You can see the gear piece moving right here. Okay, so we have some filament coming out the end, so next is to test print it. Still don't know what that's. Still not know about that part yet. What does that mean? Extruder heating. So like I said, I've printed on glass before, so we'll see. Not sure if I need a glue stick or not. So right now it looks like it's doing an outline of the Tevo symbol. And if you can see right here, it's percentage it has done. So I don't know if it's going to be a 3D object or not. So I'm going to let progress sim and then show you the update. So it has a new path it's making around the edge. I'm guessing it's gonna be something like the bed cover that came with it in the box. But we'll have to see once it gets done. It's probably just testing out the rubberness of the edges as it goes too. But here is where it's at. Still not halfway yet. So now it's doing the infill piece of it. I guess that's what it's called. It's not, I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be, is that bed cover that came with it. And it's still not halfway, it's only 5 minutes in. Okay, so it's about halfway done, over halfway. So I came back to check on it, and 2 corners are lifted up. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to use some kind of glue on this. But I suppose I'd rather finish. Okay, so it didn't come out with a good first print, but nonetheless it's set up, it's unboxed up, and then it's working. The first print failed because I don't know how to use grass print bed just yet. So this is going to do it for today's video. I've unboxed and I've been printing with the Tevo Tornado 3D printer. Hopefully I can get a better print in the hands-on first impressions video, which will be coming soon. So if you like this video or want to see the latest video first, make sure to click subscribe and I'll see you guys next time.